Everything about your taxes, from how much you pay to how difficult the forms are to fill out, is completely controlled by a handful of powerful donors and money in politics. Just like everything else. In 2017, 6,421 lobbyists were hired to lobby on tax-related issues. That's 58% of all lobbyists hired at all, donating a total of $9.6 million to politicians. Now, I'm assuming you hired 0 lobbyists, because you're sitting here watching a NowThis video, not owning a giant corporation. And that shows in how the tax bill came out. It's very much beneficial to corporations and the ultra-rich, and maybe not so great for you. A 2009 political science study crunched the numbers. Firms that spend more on lobbying in a given year pay lower effective tax rates in the next year. Well, welcome to next year. The 2017 lobbying resulted in the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which went into law in December of 2017 and affects 2018 taxes. Tax-paying households who make over $500,000 a year, about 1% of Americans, so again, I'm assuming not you, gained 23% of the benefits from the bill. Specific companies basically bought tax breaks too. Comcast hired lobbyists and got a deduction on advertising costs. Anheuser-Busch, the beer company, and Altria Group, a cigarette company that owns Marlboro and a few wine brands, spent money on lobbyists and got a lower tax on booze, which obviously saves them money. When you hire a lobbyist, you have to disclose what you hired them for. It's all on the Senate website. So with that information, we can actually track back to see what the companies actually wanted. This isn't guesswork. They admit why they hired the lobbyist. And most companies disclose they want to keep down the corporate tax rate. The corporate tax rate went down from 35% to 21%, and the number of corporations paying literally $0 doubled. Meanwhile, some deductions disappeared, like the one that saved money for the 36% of teachers that spend over $250 a year of their own money on school supplies, or the one for people who have to buy work uniforms out of pocket. You know, people that probably can't afford lobbyists outside of their unions.
This is basically what it is. That's your bill.
Now, on to what some people think is the worst part about taxes, actually sitting down and doing them. It's a pain in the ass, right? Well, don't worry, there's companies out there that can help you through them, like H&R Block and Intuit. And those are the very companies paying lobbyists and making campaign donations to keep taxes difficult. Do you ever wonder why you have to fill in so much information that the IRS definitely has already? Why can't they just send you a pre-filled return for you to add to? Why is doing taxes even a thing? Because of lobbying, obviously. That's the point of the whole video. In 2013, NPR and ProPublica reported that Intuit spent $11.5 million on lobbyists and put in their disclosure that they oppose IRS government tax preparation. That's sending you a pre-filled form. In 2011, they killed 2 bills that included free pre-filled tax returns for most Americans. That would have saved taxpayers $2 billion and 225 million hours in paperwork. They claimed that pre-filled tax returns would give the IRS too much power. But it's pretty transparent that an easier tax system makes a company that helps you with your taxes less valuable. They were lobbying to protect their profits. And while this year's tax bill and that previous tax complication legislation has been all Republicans, this stuff's often bipartisan. ProPublica again reports that after years of lobbying, Intuit and H&R Block are likely going to get their way in a new Democrat and Republican-sponsored bill that would make it illegal for the IRS to create a free version of the software Intuit and H&R Block sell to their customers. So it's thanks to money in politics that your taxes take any time at all, or that you have to pay to prepare them. Now, remember that tax bill, from earlier in the video? It was like a minute ago? Where do you think the congressional staffers that wrote it are now? They've become lobbyists. And a lot of people who still have influential contacts, ex-coworkers in Congress, will be being paid to push for the legislative desires of the ultra-rich. And this is a common phenomenon. It's called the revolving door. People go back and forth between the government and the agencies trying to control the government on behalf of big money. In 2016, 1/6 of congressmen who left office became lobbyists. So now the people who wrote the tax bill will be lobbying Congress for the next big bill that makes your life harder. So spend that return on something nice. You deserve it.